we had somebody write, and I'm not making a claim, that they had MS their whole life. And for the last 15 years, they suffered with shaking hands. And they said they tried the Evo 2 weeks, the hands stopped shaking.
Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're excited that you're here with us. As we begin this new year, so much has already happened. You know, we're only a few weeks in, and we have seen some very interesting, even disaster stories. And I think it's more important than ever, and I'm hearing it from all sides, to make sure that we can live our best life, that we can stay healthy, that we can stay vibrant, that we can stay positive, that we can stay co-creative. And so I'm excited to welcome back some of our favorite guests here and our friends from C60 Evo, Chris Burres and Patty Greer. Thank you so much for being here with us again, and Happy New Year, friends.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
It's wonderful to see you. I know a lot's going on in your lives all the time. And I want to say one thing right away. I'm teasing it for a little later. You have an incredible sort of sale going on right now, something that you've never done before. We're going to announce it a little later. But maybe I can start with you, Miss Patty. You know, the subject in my sphere lately has been around health, has really been toxicity, detox, optimization. A lot of people, subjects like fluoride in the water and chemtrails and some weird fogs that have been going on right around the new year. And of course, the fires. You know, there's so much environmental stuff going on and weird stuff going on that a lot of people are really paying attention to how they can keep their body in shape and make sure that everything's running smoothly. What's been on your radar around that? And have you heard about the weird fogs that we had just a few weeks ago? Now they've disappeared.
We had it here in Boulder, Colorado also. And I had to drive through it to get to the airport to do a trip to Palm Springs last week. And the fog was so weird. And I've got a whole family in the car, and I had to behave with what I know, even though my son and daughter know. I've got 3 grandkids that are listening, and they're like hawk ears. So, we're all noticing the fake fog, and it was very strange. And then we go to Palm Springs. We have a great group of days. And as we're flying back, the wind kicked in, and it was the first day of the fire just last week. And so we barely got out of the airport, and I just had a gut punch feeling of, oh God, not now. And it's quite a nightmare. And I have no doubt that unfortunately, that it's quite intentional, as Mel Gibson said. And a lot of people have said it's just a little too similar to Maui and similar to Paradise. And people forget, similar to South Boulder, Colorado. We had 1,176 homes burned, but there was freak 2 standing and 1 standing and 2 standing. And gosh, were those the only ones without smart meters on them? Why, yes, they were. So my house doesn't
Incredible.
have one either. But, for a lot of us watching and knowing what's happening, it's absolutely grueling. And for that reason, I'm sporting the big bottle, the size of my head, of C60 Evo, because when we know this much, or when we slowly learn it, we're going to need to keep our brain balanced and neutral so that we can be really graceful with the people around us that are learning things for the first time and going through the shock of what we've known. But I have faith, like I wrote you before the show. It's not hopium for me, it's intentional faith. And yeah, sometimes it takes a lot of friggin' work. At night, I pray. In the morning, I pray. In the middle of the night, when I get up and I don't get back to sleep and I have to do my tea, I pray. But I also run my big tool. I've got the biggest, baddest pendulum you've probably ever seen. That was my, I said, wait, I got to go get something. And this is my favorite. It literally is kind of like, compared to pendulums, it's kind of like our 32-ounce bottle compared to normal people bottle.
That's
I like it big because I keep asking, are we going to make it? Is the world going to make it? It's not just America. And the answer is yes. So that's why I have this undying faith. And I see great times ahead, but boy, it's going to twist our necks a lot in the meantime. So big bottle of Evo, can't recommend it enough. And Chris had the best explanation of the mitochondria, which is what it works on. why the brain is really, really benefiting from this product. One of my favorite stories you've told, Chris, because even when you're not on the show, I find it fascinating because it helps me understand why we think so clearly that take the product. And I think to me, it's really important aside from energy and, sleeping better is the mental focus part. And boy, does this work on the brain. Thank you.
I couldn't agree more. And by the way, I think you're absolutely 100% correct. There's a huge difference between hopium, the sort of the addiction to external hope and putting sort of all your hope into other people versus faith, which is really, it's close to home. It's here. It's a knowing. It's a different feeling. I appreciate that difference greatly. Chris, you're and by the way, I think when Patty showed her big pendulum, we are probably going bigger, better America. This is, why would I have a small pendulum or a small bottle of the Evo if I can have the big bottle, right?
My T-shirt. I have to just brag a little further. I identify as an American. I wasn't showing you my chest. The words are I identify as an American, but I guess it kind of spreads. Yeah, I mean, it's like my identity politics end here.
There you go. There you go. I love it.
So I don't have a big pendulum, right? Like I don't have one of those around. I actually don't even have the big bottle. I mean, I have access to one. I actually have one at the house. So I have this is 16 ounce, which are we going to do a shot? I don't know if we kind of said, hey, maybe we should do a shot.
You guys can do one. We're up here in the mountains. I ran out of Evo 2 days ago. So I've been 2 days without the Evo.
Didn't you get a box recently?
Well, we brought, but there's 8 people here, so and I'm giving it to everyone, because I love my family. So I'm and yeah, thank you. We're always generously supplied with the good stuff here from you guys. Thank you for that.
We'll get you more ASAP. We want you to stay brilliant like you are.
I did the same when I mentioned before we started, my brother was in town with his family. And so they're all like pulling up the teaspoons, and I'm using the measuring cup right here. We'll get this, the delicious cheers out of the way.
I've done it twice and I cannot deal. I don't want to get too wound up. It really energizes me. Chris can do coffee at bed and a shot of Evo. I can't. So you go.
Well, Chris, you're the scientific brain behind not just the Evo, which is the evolution of the original C60 molecule, which is the one that is optimized for human consumption. It's the purest that it can be. That's what you guys produce, and you're the scientific brain behind it. For me, our protocol every day is a light detox, which we have stuff for that, but the Evo is part of our daily protocol. Why do I feel so much better? Why does my dog feel so much better? Why do I feel energized, have more clarity when taking the Evo? What's the science that does that? And how can it support people, especially in times when they're extremely challenged with environmental stressors?
Yeah, I think so. So I had a fascinating story and I shared it, and I think we'll share that at some point regarding a marker, a blood marker that is associated with inflammation, and that makes perfect sense. There's a phrase called inflammaging. Inflammation can cause aging, but when you start talking about why do we have testimonials from head to toe, we really land on what we call the BOSS theory, buffering oxidative stress system. For those in your audience who have heard before, the molecule was discovered in '85 here in Houston. The scientists who discovered it, it looks like this. If you're just listening, imagine a soccer ball where the lines on the soccer ball represent the bonds between the carbon atoms. Those scientists who discovered it won the Nobel Prize in '96. They thought the molecule would be toxic. They put it in a toxicity study, and instead of being toxic, the test subjects, in this case Wistar rats, lived 90% longer than the control group. So that kind of shoves it in the direction of, and changes my life, and kind of shoots me in the direction of becoming a longevity expert and becoming a health supplement expert, and away from being kind of a carbon nanomaterial scientist, which I was at the time. Our current, where we've landed in terms of why this is helping people, is that BOSS theory. We know from peer-reviewed published research that this molecule gets into the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of every cell. Every cell in your body has between 50 and 5,000 mitochondria, except for your blood cells, which have 0, and your neurons and your nerves have 2 million per cell. That's how much energy it's incredible, right? That's how much energy our brain and our nervous system use in order to kind of go through the day-to-day operations. 2 million versus 50 to 5,000. So it's not surprising if, as I'm about to describe, positive impacts on the mitochondria are going to present as improvements from head to toe, including kind of cognitive ability, including sleep, including so many things that we get testimonials on. What we believe it's doing, one negative piece of the mitochondria, it's an energy source. And like most energy sources, there's a negative byproduct. Your car going down the road has exhaust. Your power plant has a smokestack and there's smoke coming out of it. Those are negative byproducts. In the case of the mitochondria, it produces what are called reactive oxygen species. These are negatively charged particles that run around. I think of them like little bumper cars. If they're left to their own devices, everything they bump into, it starts rusting and it's getting damaged and it's aging. And so you want to stop that. The mitochondria internally has a way to stop that, and that's actually with 2 components called glutathione and melatonin. By the way, melatonin, the sleep hormone, one of our most consistent testimonials is sleep. There's a lot of things that make a lot of sense here. When a mitochondria cell and therefore mitochondria get overwhelmed, they start producing more reactive oxygen species, and in some case, more than the glutathione and melatonin can manage. That's when they start running around and doing this rusting and oxidative damage. We know from peer-reviewed published research that this ESS60 molecule gets into the mitochondria. And we know from way back when it was discovered that it can hold up to 6 negatively charged particles. So we believe when there's an overstressed mitochondria, when you've got these extra reactive oxygen species, this ESS60 molecule holds on to them to prevent them from doing damage. And I always find that analogies are the easiest way to understand things, right? Because I'm pretty geeky and got this lab coat and I am that geeky. Imagine Mardi Gras. It's the end of Mardi Gras and you're on Bourbon Street and you got these drunk reactive oxygen species running around doing a bunch of damage, right? Breaking windows, messing up cars. The New Orleans Police Department, the glutathione and melatonin, hop onto Bourbon Street, handcuff themselves to these reactive oxygen species and get them off of Bourbon Street. But what does the New Orleans Police Department do when they're overwhelmed? They stick them in a paddy wagon, in a big truck that just holds onto them. And so we believe the ESS60 molecule works like a paddy wagon, where it holds on to those negatively charged particles until the police department, the glutathione and melatonin, can be replenished, and then they can come and handcuff themselves to those reactive oxygen species that the ESS60 molecule is holding, and then get them off of Bourbon Street. And that's really why we say that the ESS60 molecule is the boss. It's a buffering oxidative stress system.
I love it. Plus, Chris, I think that's a very creative analogy. I just want to say that, it's vivid. I can imagine it. It's easy to understand. So, tip my hat to you, my friend. That's a great one.
And if you've been to Bourbon Street, you might even get some odors as you're imagining it. It's
Oh yeah. Well,
all I can think is getting those paddy wagons out to California to suck up all the arson and all the politicians that are paying to have all this done. And now we've got the new round of thieves that are going into the houses. We're going to put them in the paddy wagon and just vacuum them all up.
That's not my idea of what I would do with people that go after folks that have lost everything. That's not my idea. No paddy wagon for them. We have
I didn't say where it was
a castle doctrine here. We don't do that around here. So I'm just saying.
So the paddy wagon is actually on its way to Greenland, and I heard the weirdest story. Totally over the top, may or may not be true, but I don't know if you've heard this. Why Greenland? Supposedly it has the only underwater prison. You can't escape.
Yeah, I mean, something else is under Greenland. A lot of lithium is under Greenland. That's what I think is more likely why it's very interesting. And
we'll
of course,
we'll have a slide for who we need to send, and I guess a vacuum so we don't have to blow up this country. I don't know. The
Yeah,
damage they've done. Wow.
but you know, we talked about this off the air, and I'm, you know, I've kind of shared with you who I have a lot of faith in, right? Why I am positive on a different level is because of people like yourselves, you know, that are part of our community, that have discovered something, then, you know, worked it, made it the best it could possibly be, tested it, made sure it's the best it can be, and then going out and helping people with it and helping a community to thrive, to be healthy. You know, that to me is that's what I have faith in. It's going to be a grassroots thing. I don't put much faith in politics, never have. But I have faith in the people around us and in our community who are doing what you guys are doing. So I'm incredibly grateful for that. And you know, Evo is one of those very few products. It's not just for the entire family, it's also for our animals that we love, right? So I consistently share the story. You know, sorry if it gets boring, but our golden retriever, we literally thought a year and a half ago that it was going to be time for him, and then, you know, we met you guys and we tried Evo and we gave it to our dog, and lo and behold, you know, he's still going strong. You know, he gets at least one dose every day, usually two, and we're going for, you know, sometimes we're going for long walks, and he still doesn't want to go home, which is just, it's beautiful for us to see that. And so it's one of the few things in life that we can go, here's a little shot for me, here's a little shot for you, which is beautiful. And I know you guys have also some pretty amazing pet stories, right?
Yeah, I'll say this is the easiest thing I've ever sold. And my partners are the lab. I mean, I'm so lucky, and I don't even have to think twice. The customer service down there are such nice people, and our lab is meticulous. I visited once, my jaw was on my freedom markings, and just amazed at the size of everything and the immaculate nature of how they run it. And every bottle that goes out is tested 3 times before it hits the road. So when we say it's got this amount of the ESS 60, it actually does. And yeah, it's really neat to have the lab that makes the good stuff for people and pets. But Chris has never heard me use this word, but it hit me lately that a lot of people claim the 90% extension of life or the benefits of ESS 60, but they're not using ESS 60. And I realize he's the lab that's delivered the product that's proven all these amazing results. And I'm almost looking at other people that claim it. It's like plagiarism. It's like, why are you even pretending you're selling ESS 60? You're
You
not.
know, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And so you, that's what I love about you guys. You're not shying away from showing and going, "Hey, you know, we're doing this on a daily. If we say this is in here, then this is in here," and you stand, you know, you stand by it with your name. I appreciate that. But I do want to get back because a lot of our viewers have animals, you know, that they're their family members, right? This is so important, and they're so important to us. We got 3 cats, 2 dogs, and you know, some rental horses, I call them, just horses we love that are not ours. But yeah,
Nice.
so what are some of the stories that you've heard lately, because I know our viewers appreciate hearing that.
Well, I was adopted by the feral cat in my hood. He
Oh
had a
yeah, I
choice
remember that. Yeah.
he had a choice of like 40, 50 homes. And, who knows what people put out, but I put out bird seed and I have squirrels and. So anyway, he kept showing up at my back door, but as soon as I'd walk toward it, he'd run. But then I realized he's always hiding under my deck. So it turns out the feral cat has chosen me, and he's a big black cougar with looks like a
That's
cougar,
how it
all
should be
black,
with cats, by the way. They need to choose you, not the other way around.
obviously.
True.
So he chose me. And I thought, oh, wow, I've got chicken in the fridge. And so I start sharing my chicken. And then somebody said that has cats said raw egg. And I was like, totally slow. And then I went, Evo. So I go to my closet and get my stash. And I pulled out C60 Evo for cats with salmon essence. And I'm
Mm.
thinking, okay, this cat's going to probably really, like the kibble. And I buy natural kibble from Whole Foods. And so, but I put a little water on it and then I put the Evo in. Oh my God, he snarfed it down. So now I've got a cat. okay, here comes winter. I'm in Colorado at 6,000 feet. So I also bought a heated cat house recently. So I'm
Sure
hoping
you
that
did.
I did. So it's plugged in, and I left town for 5 days. So I asked my sweet neighbor if she would go and grab the kibble right there next to the little heated cat house that he won't go in much yet. And so she fed him every day. But she wrote me on the fourth day a text. She said, "I'm really sorry. I think your cat's gone because he hasn't eaten any of the food." So I get back. I didn't see him anywhere. And I went, I've got a little trick up my sleeve. So I didn't see him like for 2 days. Now it's 5, 6 days, and the food's still sitting out there. So I threw it out for the birds, and I did a fresh bowl, little water, little Evo with salmon. Within an hour, I see him out there just, I just
There you
chomping,
go.
and now he's back. So now I'm back to my chicken trick inside the heated cat house because it's going to be terrible out. But the Evo and me being so cool is why the cat has come back. But he didn't eat the chow, even though what's he eating? I don't know. Mice in
Probably
the.
hunting. Yeah, probably hunting. Yeah.
I hope
So
so.
what's the cat's name?
Well, I call him Cougar.
Oh yeah, right. You told us that. Yeah.
Yeah, now
Well,
I'd like to think there's two cougars in the house, but
critique. Yeah, Chris, you weren't here last time. We covered that too. And Chris, you said off the air, you got a pretty amazing testimonial of your own, right? That you recently received.
Yeah, this is actually from a guy who owns a health brand. And I'm just going to read. It's a little bit long, but it's really good. He speaks for himself, right? We started taking the C60 Evo about a month ago, and the biggest change we've seen was with a puppy that his son had brought home. This little pug was in rough shape. He was the run of the litter and had water retention on the surface of his brain. His balance was really bad, constantly shaking his head and could only spin in circles. It's like he was perpetually dizzy. The vet didn't expect him to live long. The day after my son brought him home, our shipment of C60 Evo showed up, which included a product for dogs. We've been giving him 2 to 3 doses a day since then, and he is about 80% better. He runs in straight lines and playing with other dogs. When taking to the vet this past week, she said his improvement seemed like a miracle. And he also shared with me, I will never not take your product. Right. And then I spoke with him recently. He said, so he lives on a little bit of a ranch, that the dog got kicked by a horse and run over by a donkey, and was all bloodied up. And they didn't think it was going to, and it was up and back on its feet actually relatively quickly. So yeah, it's a super dog now.
It's a cat.
your
It's a
dog.
That
cat.
dog's a cat. It's got 9 lives. That's incredible. I love,
Yeah.
I love, I love those stories. And Chris, you shared this many times. There's no placebo effect with animals, right? There's no such thing as an animal thinking that that's going to help them. They don't even know they get it. They take it, and it does help, which is so beautiful. Miss Patty,
Well, I think you could add to that, right? With Patty's cougar story, the cat named Cougar, that he or she avoided, like didn't even bother to eat the food, right? So they do have an intuition about this being that healthy, and that's really what drew him back.
there are days when dogs are off, cats are off, they don't eat, and it's all good. It's like us humans, but I'm telling you, it's almost impossible when we add the Evo to it that bowl is not getting eaten up. I mean, I don't think I've seen this before. I hinted at it, Miss Patty, at the beginning of our show. I actually can't believe you guys are doing this. But Chris is the same. He's like,
I can't believe it either.
I can't believe we're doing this. So for a limited time only, and
Yes.
until supply lasts, right? You're doing something very, very special. What is it? Because I think people should jump on it right away.
Yeah, I've never seen us do this. And I told Chris before the show, and he said, "No, that's wrong." And I said, "I called the lab yesterday because I thought it was wrong." And they did it without telling me. And normally I run the promos, me. So I was like, let me know these things. But I'm really glad they did it because, Chris and I might have gone, well, maybe, but we're doing it.
Okay,
So
let's call it a
buy
late Christmas
one,
gift. A late Christmas gift.
Yeah.
buy one, get one free.
Well,
And
rewind. Buy one bottle, get one bottle free
of the
of the capsules.
Yep. C60 Evo capsules. There's 180 gel caps in here. And it's great for traveling, great for keeping in the car, the briefcase, the office, whatever, even though we all have an office at home pretty much. But when you travel, they grab your oil if you take it in a carry on, but they won't grab a baggie of caps. So these are great for numerous things. Also, some people don't want to take a spoonful of oil, which I find effortless and wonderfully easy. But yeah, I saw a receipt and I was like, why'd she buy three? And then I was like, buy one, get one. Is that six? And so, yeah, she paid for three and she got six bottles. So it's a great time to stock up. I've seen a lot of people buying the 16-ounce bottle that Chris showed. And I think we have a special right now on the website also. If you buy the big bottle, you get a free facial serum, which is my
Okay,
favorite.
I got to quickly interrupt. My apologies. We're just going, friends. Hit the pause button. Go in the description. Click on the link. Use the code that's there. Do it while supplies last. I believe this will not last long. This will be out in hours. So go and do that, and then come back and watch the rest. Please go get that buy one get one free deal.
Great, thank you. Well, yeah, it is kind of a fun surprise. And I mean, with what happened in the last 4 years, I just want to say congratulations to you and your audience. We're on the other side. I mean, we have 3 more days to tolerate whatever's going to be pulled on us, but I really see a glorious time ahead. And I also am really excited that my gang, which is Make America Healthy Again, Bobby Kennedy Jr., who we've sent 3 packages to of the sampler set, which is all 3 flavors. And we learned after the first shipment that we had to have them blessed in a church before he would receive them. So he's received the 3 flavor sampler set, which comes in 2-ounce, 4-ounce, 8-ounce, so that it's a great way to start. It's a great gift to give yourself or somebody else, but that way you can try all the flavors, and they are different energy levels, such as the olive oil is the strongest at 0.8 milligrams per milliliters. The avocado is 0.6, just a little bit slightly less strong, and the MCT is half as strong as 0.35 milligrams per milliliters. But I start my day with this every day because I put it in my coffee, and I just put in twice as much. So I do a tablespoon and spill a little bit more sometimes. Oops.
I
But
always do a tablespoon.
right. Well, you're a big dude. I'm a little
I
little
always do
girl.
a tablespoon.
Yeah. Well, we want to really honor our bodies. And I have
Yeah.
cleared the counter of so many supplement bottles once I started taking this. And 5 years ago, I had a absolute dope of a dude put a uranium in my garage, scared that I knew too much about what. And I lost 25 pounds, just about died. And I started just pounding the Evo from Chris's lab. And here I am. So the reason I'm partners with Chris is because this product saved my life twice. I've been through some real hellish experiments like I'm a science experiment, but I survived, and I dug to see who's this guy, who's this lab, because this product works, and that's why we work together. I didn't know them. I wasn't like buying their products. I was healed. Oh, we're not allowed to say that word. Gosh, did I benefit from this, this
Let's
oil?
just let's just say you healed, and coincidentally at the same time you were also taking this product. What a coincidence. You
Yeah, I'll tell you another coincidence. We had somebody write, and I'm not making a claim, that they had MS their whole life. And for the last 15 years, they suffered with shaking hands. And they said they tried the Evo 2 weeks. The hands stopped shaking. Now he sleeps. I'm not making a claim. The customer did. But when I received that, I was like, that's a big one. And last week, somebody wrote about autism, that they really had a calming effect from the C60 Evo. And again, I'm not making a medical claim. I'm just saying we had a testimonial where the person was really, really going on and on with gratitude. And I think that's what Chris and I get to enjoy a lot is I'm got a mouth. I just love this stuff and I talk about it everywhere. And Chris and Robert are in Texas making it and shipping out all over the world. In the last week, we sold to more countries. I mean, when I think about your show and other shows that we do, it goes out to so many people in the world. And I think your audience is especially international, and like Israel and Australia and Norway and Sweden. I would expect Sweden for you, but all these other countries, it's really wonderful to realize that we've had that effect and that the
It's
fingers
wonderful.
go that far. But when
I do
people,
want to
yeah,
interject, right? So we were talking about very specific diseases. So we'll throw in our FDA disclaimer. The FDA has not evaluated our product. It is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. I like to say we're sharing anecdotes. You should just assume this will not happen for you. Dig into the research and understand what the science is behind it. And if it's right for you, then yeah, try it.
I absolutely love that. I think, just like mainstream media and Congress, FDA enjoys about a trust approval in the single digits now. So I wonder why that would be, but hey, here we are. I also wanted to share another anecdote because it's a product you haven't even touched on, or I interrupted you rudely. My apologies. But I'm up here at 13,000 feet. It's very cold, sometimes windy. And I'm telling you that this is tough on the skin, right? I don't put anything on there, no sunscreen, no nothing, but I put the facial serum every day. It's like soft as a baby butt. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. It's a facial serum. It's a C60 Evo facial serum, which I'm man enough to say I use it every day.
love it. And love that men, women, and everybody in between benefits from it.
Yeah,
And
Chris is sporting it for you right there.
oh, he loves modeling our goo, and that's why he looks 15.
Yeah, Chris is I think it's his 39th birthday next month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
55.
Yeah, no, that to me, see, I never require ID, but for your claim, I would, because I don't believe it.
Well, I'm
I don't.
92. How am I looking?
Well, hell yeah, I don't believe that either. I don't believe, you guys are looking fantastic. Look at this, it's wonderful. So,
Glowing boy.
please tell me, Miss Patty, how can people get to the website? How can they take benefit of the wonderful and beautiful savings that you offer to our audience, and make sure that they get their wonderful supply of the Evo?
No matter what you buy, no matter what discounts, be sure to use the secret code for this show to get another 10% off at checkout. You'll go to C60 Evo, like evolution.com/inspired channel, and you'll see all kinds of specials on the homepage, the big bottle with the free serum, and hopefully there's buy one, get one. But if that is so temporary, I'm sending you the link. I already did, and it'll be below. But even that, buy one, get one. Well, we have a case, which is 12 bottles, and we've sold a lot of cases lately. And again, I think people are stocking up for many reasons. Here comes winter, but who knows about UPS and the post office? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see the transition. I see everything better, but it's going to be a transition. Who knows about these fires? So, stocking up, good timing, good move. Big bottles are pretty awesome. And right now, getting a free facial serum, which is my favorite product, is rocking. We do sampler sets, we do pet sets, and anytime you buy a set, you're going to save 15% off each item. And we take that off, and then it's called a set. And you can still 15% off 5 items or 2 items, 4 items, whatever. You still use John's code at the end, and you'll get another 10% off at checkout. And it also helps us know that you heard us on his show. A lot of people have written emails to us mentioning that they heard us on your show. So I know that a lot of your audience is really interacting. And November, December, we gave away complimentary bottles. And I don't think we should quit. Chris, is that okay? We do it again for January?
Yeah.
I think we should. I mean, we want to
I
get
love
people
that.
to try it.
That's
And
totally. I had no idea Patty was going to do that. I'm just grateful for all these little nuggets and gifts and opportunities for audience to experience this. So please tell me what you had in mind, and if it's the same thing we did in December.
I think the same thing, when your people give us a reason in a comment or a testimonial in a comment, what it's done for them, or their house just burned down, or I'm trying to think how we can help the fire victims, because I actually wrote Carrie Cassidy. I hope it's okay to say this. Project
Anything.
Camelot, and was talking to her. Do you need any products? You want to do another interview? She said, I'm evacuated. So I wrote her this morning, just checking in. And she said, I'm fine. I'm back. We're going to roll next week. But I'd actually said, if anything happened, if you let me know where you are, I'll send you some Evo. So we do care. We care a lot about our customers. We interact a lot with the people that use our products. And our team in Houston, like I said, really young, conscious, nice people. But the testimonials on Google are nonstop complimenting them, because when people say, "Oh, I don't know which one to order or whatever, how do I get the discount?" Just call us on the phone. It's on the top of your landing page, top left, and they will answer. Just let us know that it's the Inspired channel, and they'll take care of you, start to finish, give you the discount, and let us know that you heard us on his show. So, yeah, we ship all over the world. We do memberships. If you sign up for a monthly subscription, you'll save 20% off every order, and you can cancel effortlessly. You just call us, write us, don't have to give us a reason. But most people stay on it because you clear your counter and you have one bottle. It's really nice, or two. And my bathroom is the same. All those expensive facial serums, it's like, kind of not into that now. I just really like clean, simple, effective. And I love it that it works for men as well as women, because, we all need to have healthy skin and healthy interior. I do want to do one last quickie, which is I went on a trip with my family and they make salads like over the top. And I started learning to eat differently finally. And today, the reason I didn't do a shot, which is really rare, was I'm making a salad of just ridiculously good stuff, and just lemon on top, and then I heat up a tortilla shell and I make a salad taco, and I'm hooked on them all of a sudden. But my son-in-law taught me to use balsamic vinaigrette and olive oil and salt. That's it. And today I started the olive oil and I went, Evo. And so I made Evo tacos, and it was super good. And there wasn't a bunch of oil on the bottom because I actually lift the bowl and pour whatever. And, so Evo
Chris,
tacos thing.
Chris, I think we have a new thing here going. I think we should do the Evo Taco Tuesdays.
I love it.
That's a,
Evo
you should do a
taco.
food truck, a Evo food truck with Taco Tuesday, Evo Taco. I just want to rewind real quick, Miss Patty, because you talked about Carrie Cassidy, and I just want to say, first off, there's no rivalry ever from on our end in our community. We so appreciate what she and Bill Ryan have, as pioneers, have done with Project Camelot many years ago. They've broken many stories, brought on many whistleblowers. They've done some fantastic work for this community, and we're internally grateful to them. So that I wanted to get that out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
And the second thing is, my friends, this is a pretty special show with Chris and Miss Patty. So if you stop the video and go get that buy one get one free deal, and leave a comment underneath this video saying that you either want to try it or you have already, what was your experience, then you're eligible to win a bottle. We're going to do that, the raffle, the drawing next during our next show. And in addition to all of that, you also get the super savings with the subscriptions and our coupon code. So just it's just the best time ever to get started on this. And what I wanted to say also is, I understand this is an investment. Here's the way that Christine and I have been doing this, because we've been testing so many things over the years, is we realized that once we found the really good stuff in every category, that a lot of the other expenses went away because our body finally got what it needed. And so, yes, this is an investment, but you will find that when you put the good stuff inside of your body, you won't need a lot of the stuff that you might have needed before. That's at least our experience, you know? I can't say that goes for everyone, and everyone's different, but that's generally what we find is that when we find the right things, they're worth the investment. And at the end of the day, we're actually spending less, not more, which is, you know, a plus. So that's just on my end. Friends, thank you so much for being with us. It's always such a pleasure. And we're going to do it again very, very soon, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. I was
Thank you,
just
John.
modeling our lip balm. I always find it funny that I even got the guys at the lab to make C60 Evo lip balm because they know it works. It just works on every part of the body. And I almost made it to the end, but I was like, yeah, I think I could use a little moist. Stuff is so good. Thank you, Chris, for making it for 33 years and elevating the process in the last little bunch of years because we're really changing people's lives. And my favorite new ad that I did this week wrote the text with my 9-year-old granddaughter, who's like really clever. We said, healthy pets have happy people,
I love
Mm,
that. Healthy pets
that's
have
awesome.
happy people. That's true. Beautiful
right?
slogan. Yeah, you should
I
probably
mean,
trademark that. That's a good one.
kids, pets. The kids grow up. The pets, you've always got them until they leave. But we're really finding that a lot of people with pets absolutely love them, and a lot of pets, needless to say, are out in the fog, chemtrails, water in their bowls. I mean, they're dealing with the same as we are. So pamper your pets with C60 Evo, and you won't have to take them to the vet.
Healthy
Oh,
pets
pamper
have
your pet
healthy
and
people.
skip the vet. Oh, there's a new one for next week.
All right, my friends. Well, Miss Patty Greer, Mr. Chris Burres, thank you so much for joining us again today. Always a pleasure and an honor. Really
Thank
Thank you.
appreciate
you.
you guys. And Inspire Tribe, we love you, we appreciate you, and we will be back with you again very, very soon.